You are now live.
So can you pull up the agenda, please? Okay, good. All right, thank you. So we'll go ahead and call the Thursday, April 22, 2022 meeting of the East Lansing Building Board of Appeals.
Excuse me,
Better make it 2021.
2021, yeah.
2021, 2020. What did I say?
22. You
Oh,
jumped to.
just thinking in advance. Okay. All right. So could we call the roll, please? And remember to state your name and the location that you're attending the meeting from, city and county.
Okay. The authority members doing roll call, please state that you are attending remotely and the county, city, and state you are attending from. Larry Cross.
Good afternoon or good evening. I'm Michigan, Ingham County, East Lansing.
Austin Brown.
Hello, I'm Austin, attending from Ingham County in East Lansing, Michigan.
Liz Harrell.
Hi, I'm Liz Harrell. I'm attending from Cambridge, Mass. And I just looked up that that's in Middlesex County in Massachusetts.
Tim Rozowski.
Tim Rozowski, attending from my home in East Lansing, Ingham County, Michigan.
Okay, Tim, it is now back over to you.
Okay. All right. So we'll move on to the approval of the agenda. So we have the agenda displayed here. And are there any additions or deletions? We should, Austin, this is, I believe, your last meeting, so we might want to add a little thank you to him, maybe under the announcements, I guess.
Do we want that under board member concerns?
Oh, that's fine. We could put it under board member concerns.
I moved it to approve the agenda as submitted.
Do we have a second? Okay, Larry Cross supports. All right, so if we could take the vote.
Larry Cross.
Aye.
Austin Brown.
Yay.
Liz Harrell.
Aye.
Tim Rozowski.
Aye. So the motion passes. So we've approved the agenda. We'll move on to the approval of the minutes from the March 25th, 2021 meeting. So those were in the packet.
I move that the minutes be approved as submitted.
Do we have a second? Can you scroll up just a little bit? Thank you.
I'll second. I had to read a little bit first.
Yep.
Larry.
Is there any discussion? Amendments?
Larry Cross.
Yes, or yay, whatever you want.
Austin Brown.
Aye.
Liz Harrell.
Aye.
Tim Rozowski.
Aye. So we've approved the minutes. We'll move on to written communications.
How come Tim's picture says Austin Brown?
I sent him my email because he couldn't find his.
That's interesting. Okay, good observation. All right.
You can change that in the, when you sign into Zoom, there's a way to change your name, what name shows, you know.
We want to kind of stay on track because we don't have very long to be on here.
Okay.
That's right. All right.
I thought Austin aged a lot in a couple minutes there.
He got better looking too, right? No. Okay, moving on to the communication. So we have the notice of variance. And this is a document developed by the city, just reporting what we decided at the last meeting.
Okay.
Scott,
Do we need to do anything with this or just receive it?
I think we just receive it.
Yeah, just receive it.
Okay.
All right, so we've received it. So we'll move on to communications from the audience. Do we have any audience members?
I don't see any.
None.
None? Okay, so hearing none, we'll close item 3, communications from the audience, and move on to board member concerns. So we do, Austin has indicated that he's moving to the Detroit area. So this will be his last meeting. And so we're very thankful for your service. And it's always nice that when people volunteer their time, I would encourage you, Austin, to volunteer your time in your new city, and either try to serve on BVA or Planning Commission or Zoning Commission. So I think it's a really good, it's very helpful to the community, but also I think really good for you. So, and just on a personal note, Austin was one of our best students that we had. So we really enjoyed having him in our construction management program. I have sent over through Denise's prompting, request to see if we could get another student from MSU to serve on the board. But anyway, thank you, Austin, for your service on the board. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Tim. It feels weird calling you Tim, but I appreciate it.
Okay, so are there any other concerns?
Mr. Chair, this is Scott Weaver.
Yes.
I'd just like to tell Austin, thank you for serving with the city on the Building Board of Appeals. And if any time in the future you need to reach out for questions or need a little help with anything, feel free. We'd be happy to help you out. Thank you.
Thank you, Scott. I appreciate it.
Very good. All right. Okay. Any other concerns or comments?
Have we started finding replacement yet? Or replacements? I think we're down a couple.
Yes, I reached out to both the School of Planning, Design, and Construction and the Civil Engineering on campus to see, and I did get a positive response back from one faculty member that she's looking for someone from her class. So hopefully we'll fill that soon, because we need to have an adequate number of members, but it's always nice to have someone from MSU serving on the board.
About 2 years ago, Eric Altman had found 2 potential members in my neighborhood. He came to a neighborhood picnic and recruited 2 guys. One was a retired engineer and the other was a real estate appraiser. And I don't know exactly what happened. Those 2 sort of fizzled before they made it all the way to the board. But I'm wondering if there are other appraisers around. I had never thought of, I've always just looked at architects and engineers, but maybe there's some appraisers in town who know enough about construction that we should be, or contractors. I mean, we need more members, more than just the student member. We need some more, right? Aren't we 2 members short?
Yeah, our allotment is what, 7 members, I think?
Yes, we're too short.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
We used to have a couple of contractors on the board, but I haven't seen any for quite a while.
Yeah, we haven't. So, well, I would encourage everybody to reach out to anybody who they think that would be appropriate. So they need to be East Lansing residents. And so that would be good if you know of somebody. And Denise, they should contact you and get the application in that. Is that correct?
Yes, they can. And then it's also online too as well.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Any other board member concerns?
No.
Okay, we'll move on to old business. We don't really have any old business. And so we'll move on to new business. And this is, Scott has written up, really it's a procedural protocol element. So at the February meeting, I believe it was, we looked at the idea that we needed to, when we had minutes to approve, we needed to meet the next month to approve them, because the action, I think, technically is final upon acceptance of the minutes. And so we had last year, we had that big gap between meetings, and therefore we didn't meet. And I think that created some issues. So we decided in February we would meet, even if there was no appeal, to approve the minutes. But then the question comes up, is there any point in meeting if the only thing we're meeting is to say we met last time and we approved the minutes and there's no action items. So I think, Scott, you've written up these 2 different possibilities, or is this one? Because they seem to be a little bit, well, they both talk about the same issue. So I'll turn this over to you and you can explain what you have here.
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Chair. So there are 2 options there. We run this through the city attorney to make sure that this was a good way to go, because as you said, we don't want to have lengthy times and start to rely on memory, and we also don't want to have a meeting just to have a meeting. So in the option one, it was it talked about that we would do just as we are right now. We would have a meeting directly after. So if we had an action item in April, we would have a meeting in May to follow up with the minutes. And in that would, no matter how that would work out, we would still have our January meeting as far as timing goes to install officers and start the new year. Item 2 takes out just a little bit longer, so that when there's been an action taken, that we would meet no later than 3 months. So that would give, once again, just a little bit of time there, but not so much time that we forget what we talked about. And we would approve the minutes at no more than 3 minutes. So there's 3 months, excuse me. So 2 options there, either directly after or stretch it out just to 3 months.
Wouldn't that second item apply if there was no action taken other than approving previous minutes? Shouldn't that say where there's been no action taken?
Larry, I think
it says action taken.
Correct.
I think I agree with Larry. I think there should be a no in there somewhere.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, technically, we're taking an action by meeting, but we're not deciding anything and we're not holding anybody else up. I would say when no action has been taken, then we shall meet no later than 3 months.
No, I think what he's trying to say is that when we've made some kind of decision, when we've made some kind of decision that required a quorum, that then we have to meet, either we have to meet immediately the next month to approve the minutes, just for our record's sake, or we have to meet, or the other option is that we have to meet at least within 3 months, because there have been periods when we haven't met for, well, like this one, for a year, when we've forgotten what we are. But most of the time, I think the 3 month rule would take care of it. Usually we meet at least once every 3 months.
Yeah, I mean, I think I prefer number 1, just because as the chair, I think it was awkward that we waited so long that last time. So I don't want to have that event again. But I do think that we could amend this to say something like, where there has been an appeals action, then the board shall meet at the next regular scheduled meeting time, except in the instance where the only action was to approve the previous minutes, in which case.
Well, that's what I meant was, so for instance, I didn't want to approve this proposal of Scott's tonight, because then we'd have to meet next month. I was going to just receive it, so we could, we could put it into action. If it needs some kind of vote or approval, we could do it when we next meet for business.
Well, or we could state when the sole purpose of the prior meeting was to approve the minutes, or take an administrative action, or a process action, or something like that. I mean, I think
that's what I want to get at. Right. Yeah.
We're kind of on the same page, right? We don't want to meet in May to basically approve the minutes that said we met and we approved the
right, exactly. We don't want to be in an infinite shell here. So, so then I think that we just have to clean up the language, change the language a little bit, so that when we say there has been action, it's action taken on a variance request, on an appeal request, right? An appeal, right? But I have a question about that. If we deny or approve, is that the same? Is that the reason that fellow wanted us to put it in the minutes is that he couldn't appeal to the courts, right? He couldn't appeal to the state or to some higher authority until it was in the minutes.
Yeah, he had no finality.
Right, but it was effective the minute we grant the variance. They don't have to wait till the following month to get to build or to not build what we approved, right?
Scott, can you answer that?
Yes, I forget the dates, and I want to say that they have 15 days if they were to appeal to whether it was a construction code commission or the higher courts. And that's spelled out in the Public Act 230. So I can get that for you if you needed it, but it's spelled out in there. But
I think what Liz was asking about is if we approve the appeal, why do we have to go back and do anything? They're clear to do whatever they wanted to do if we approve it.
Do we
Yes,
need to finalize that in minutes as urgently as a denial?
I think from our standpoint with the city, I think for consistency, whether it's a granted appeal or a denied appeal, that it should be, the minutes should be sewed up to finalize that topic.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree with that too. Yeah, I think if we take a formal action on an appeal, one way or the other, we should meet the next month, put it to rest, but not meet if there wasn't an appeal at the previous meeting.
Right. I think that makes sense. I think we're coming to a consensus. Now,
Except we do have to have the January meeting regardless, because that's required to
well, it
determine.
sounds like we don't just need the January meeting, but then we need the February meeting to confirm it, or is that not true?
Well, I mean, I would put that into that category of kind of an administrative item.
Administrative that we could skip. Okay.
I mean, that would be my thinking, but.
Okay. I think I'm with you on that. If the city, if the city agrees, if Scott agrees.
Yes, I would concur with that. That would make sense to me.
Okay.
I think if you just add the word no before action in the second item, we'd have it covered.
Oh, that's interesting. I was going to say no. I was going to just say action on an appeal. If any action on an appeal is taken.
Yeah, where there was no action on an appeal.
That would do it.
Taken at the previous BBA meeting. The board shall meet no later.
No, I think you guys are doing it backwards, but I'll, can we leave it at this, express our, what are we going to do on this? Are we going to vote on this? Or are we going to give it back to the lawyer and ask the lawyer to,
ask them to clarify it.
because I want to say when there has been an action on an appeal at a BBA meeting, the minutes from that meeting must be approved at the next regularly scheduled. We must have another scheduled meeting to approve the minutes, right?
Yes.
Right. So let me. I'll state this, and let's see if we can state it correctly. And this is being recorded, so you can get this. So let's say when there has been an action on an appeal at the previous board meeting, the board shall meet at the next regularly scheduled meeting to approve the minutes.
Right. Okay.
When the sole action at the previous board meeting was to approve the minutes, the board shall not be required to meet, but shall meet no later than 3 months from that meeting.
Oh, I see. That's what you think the second meeting means. When there's been no action, we still should meet every 3 months just to say hi.
Yes, that's what they're after.
Oh, you think that's what that second meeting means? So we have a minimum of 4 meetings a year. Just to say hi, we just all come together, chit chat.
No, that was not our intent to meet 4 times. That was only just to make sure that we didn't go longer than 3 months once we had taken action to approve the minutes. So
I don't think we need the second part of Tim's.
Yeah, I think you're right then, but we should still meet in the January meeting.
Right.
Right.
Okay, I think that's good. The only thing is that when you said when the meeting has just been to approve minutes, instead of saying that, just say when the meeting has just been for administrative purposes, such as the approval of minutes or of the election of officers. No subsequent meeting is required.
Yeah, I think
we're ahead.
Yeah, because technically, I guess if we approve the agenda, that's an action other than approving the minutes. So
right. That's why it has to be an action on an appeal, or when only just administrative actions have been taken, no subsequent meeting is required.
Or 3 months.
No, ever.
No,
ever.
except for the January meeting. So
Right.
we always have to have the January meeting.
Right, that's a good point. Okay.
Right. So
Right.
Scott and Denise, do you think you have enough on this?
Yes,
I believe so. I agree with Denise. It's, and you said it, Tim, it's recorded, so we can gather that and we can put it together in a new format. So absolutely. Thank you.
So just procedurally then, if we don't have an appeal in May, we would not meet to approve this item because this
Right.
would fall into that category of administrative procedural, and it's not a variance request or an appeal.
That's
Correct.
my read.
correct. That's correct.
Okay, so do we need to take a vote on this, or is this really, all
I think we've got a consensus.
right, well, why don't
And
we
they're
go
going to
ahead,
straighten it out.
why don't we go ahead and take a vote on it just to make it official, so. I think without restating it, are we good without restating it?
Mr. Chair, if I can,
Okay,
it is possible to table this and send it back to the city for a rewrite, if you will.
I think that makes sense.
And then on our next Building Board of Appeals, when we have to take an action, we could put it right back in there as old business.
okay, yeah, I mean, it should be written up completely, I think, so I think that's
And also,
good.
Capital
also
idea.
for us, it's just, we're just really discussing a procedure. Now that we understand it, I think we'll be more careful.
Can we have a motion to table this?
So
To the-
moved.
Second,
All right, any discussion? All those in favor say aye, just to, I
Aye.
guess, call the roll. Yep. Aye,
thanks.
Okay, Larry Cross,
Aye.
Austin Brown,
Aye.
Liz Harrell,
Aye,
Tim Rozowski.
aye. Okay, if we could go back to the agenda.
announcement.
I have no announcements. Scott or Denise or anyone else, do you have an announcements?
I have
No, sir.
none.
I'll move, we adjourn.
Okay, can we have a second?
I'll second.
Oh, let Austin second, yeah.
All right, so let's call the roll. Yes,
Larry Cross, Austin,
Aye.
Austin Brown,
Aye.
Liz Harrell,
Yes,
Tim Rozowski.
yes. All right, so that closes the April 22nd, 2021 meeting of the Building Board of Appeals. So again, thank you, Austin, for your service.
Thank
Let's,
you all.
keep all the meetings this short.
Well, I think we stretched it out a little longer than it needed to be, but anyway.
but we haven't seen each other in so long. But we needed this, yeah. All
That's
right,
right.
thanks, bye.
Okay, yep. Bye-bye, everyone.
Bye,
Good
everyone.
luck.
Aye.
Good luck to you, Austin, and God bless you.